If you've ever wanted to start a custom supplement brand where stuff is manufactured in the US, I'm gonna show you how to do that for an unheard of low amount of money in this video because it gets really expensive manufacturing products in the US. But if you're looking for a custom brand with products that people love, monthly recurring subscriptions because people get on a monthly subscription, really high cost of margin because your COGS are super low, and you're looking to have protection because people can't compete with you as easily when your product is custom, I'm gonna show you how to do that for 10 grand or less in this video. In fact, I'm gonna show you how I started a brand, exactly what I did. And I'm gonna show you how I turned that 10K startup cost into a business making over $500,000 a month. Don't worry, I will show you the proof in just a couple of seconds. But first of all, why would you want to build a brand? Okay, because this takes more money. It takes more time, and it absolutely takes more effort than doing something like dropshipping. Well, there's a reason that I stopped dropshipping. I did tens of millions of dollars, built a lot of skills, but take a look at what I've created since. Let's take a look at the last 30 days. And these are my own personal results from one of my own brands. I want to show you this. $250,000 just on Shopify in the last 30 days. If we come over on TikTok Shop, we're actually down because we're basically out of inventory. $36,000 in sales. And I'll show you this one on my phone because I think it's fun. Here's the mobile app for Amazon. As you can see, like 150K so far this month, and it's just an absolute rocket ship of growth. So how did I do this in, by the way, 1 year? We'll do over $500,000 this month. So here's a really large list of benefits that I like about building a brand. As somebody who has like newly done this and focused on it for the last year, I'm more invested in it, not just financially. Like I had a role to play in creating the product and I put more time into it. So I'm proud of that, and it's a product that I'm proud of. We have higher customer satisfaction because, let's be honest, it's better than some dropshipping crap that's coming from China. Overall, customers are way, way happier. It's not even close. Huge returning customer rates. Even for customers who are not taking a monthly subscription, they come back. Really, really high rate. Huge monthly subscriptions. Of course, people want to take these products monthly. Better conversion rate. On dropshipping, you're looking at like 1%, maybe 2%. Here, we're constantly at 4 to 6% conversion rates every single day. It's not hard. That's even with cold traffic. Better quality email list. We make a ton of money through email and SMS. You get the phantom traffic effect, right? The free sales that boost your margin that just come in from everywhere because you've been tagged here. You're promoted over here. You're mentioned in this random blog. It's an easy parlay into Amazon, right? I build brands. We launch them on TikTok Shop, then get going on Shopify. And both of those platforms actually boost Amazon. People will search for a real brand over on Amazon. And now that makes me nearly 100K a month in profit. That's the crazy part, just Amazon. This supplement brand, you want to build a real brand, guys, like it will be worth something. People would love to buy it, okay? So at the end of the day, that's the why. That's why you should build one, okay? Hope you're sold on building a real brand versus anything else. It's literally never been as easy as right now. The platforms are working together so much. So I did do like a more in-depth breakdown on exactly what I did tactically to build this. So if you have at least 25 grand and you want to build a custom brand made in the US and you want to see exactly how I got there, I made a more aggressive training down below. But what I did was a little more aggressive on the money side. So if you have a larger budget, check that video out after this. So let's talk about the typical process to build a custom supplement brand, and then I'm gonna run you through how you can do this for $10,000, potentially less. The typical process to build something, and this is US based, okay? This makes it a lot more difficult. You're gonna cold contact a bunch of random manufacturers in the US through their website, or you're emailing them. You're gonna pay for formulation and samples. You have to have somebody create that, okay? You're gonna wait 30 to 60 days at least just to get a sample of your product. Oftentimes it's not perfect. Okay, then eventually they're gonna tell you the MOQ is 10,000 units, your minimum order quantity. Well, let's do some simple math here. 10K units times the average supplement price of, let's call it anywhere from $6 to $9, really depends on your ingredients. Do you have $60,000 to $90,000 laying around just for inventory, nothing else? That's a huge cost. And this 10,000 units is an average in the supplement industry. It's definitely an average, even sometimes if you go manufacture in a different country. So this is where it really starts to get expensive for most people. So it's a higher barrier to entry. You're gonna pay their invoice, wait months until it's done. The average time in the industry is 8 to 12 weeks. So you're looking at multiple months to actually have your order filled, done, and ready to go, just for it to be freighted over to you. So then they'll have it ready, and then you can pay to have it shipped to whoever's gonna fulfill it. A 3PL that's gonna fulfill your orders for $3 a package or whatever, and then you can finally start selling. You're probably looking, if you were very fast, somehow crazy, a 3-month process, potentially 5, maybe 6 months, okay? That's the average window and cost of most places in the US. For most people that are doing that, like that's typically how it goes, and that's assuming no hiccups. Even we have problems every single time. There's always some kind of a delay, right? And just to mention hiccups, somebody I coach just did this with a random manufacturer that let them order like 800 units, which was good for them, I guess. It took a couple months, okay? The product came in and the labels were messed up. And the label itself was fine, but it was cut, like it was manually done. Like it didn't look good at all. It looked super janky. So again, there's It's kind of always problems, right? Number 3, you have a creative option. So you can go that regular route that most people go. You can go the creative option route. This is interesting. This is where you can partner with somebody who either has the money to do that first option or has a brand or a product already. Right? A lot of people do this. They partner up. It's like, hey, well, let's join forces, combine skills or combine money, whatever it is. Not a bad option. Or you can white label. And I want to mention this because this is a really important thing. Private label, white label, whatever you want to call it. You're basically not customizing the product. So you don't have the protection around your own product, which whatever, not a big deal to start. But it is your brand. You build your own label, you customize it, and it looks like yours. And it's pretty much going to sell the same. Okay, and this is actually a really easy process. You can Google white label supplement manufacturer, US supplement white label gummy supplement, white label capsule. You get the ideas. These are just some prompts that you can Google, okay? And I've actually built a list. These are a couple that I've found, okay? A 5,000 bottle MOQ, which is at least less, and that's for custom, but they also have private label available, okay? I Googled one of these things. I found Paragon Labs US. I've no relationship to any of these, by the way, but they do all of these, okay? And they walk you through, doing like custom products. You can do all these private label stuff. This brand has SMP Nutra. They have a crap load of products. So I'm just showing you this, like all stock products here. Let's say we want to do a capsule in the collagen space. That's been pretty big. They have all these different products, gummies and whatever, and you'll be able to just put your own label on it, right? So you're taking their product. Oftentimes with private label, the price is actually pretty crazy. So like crazy good. It's actually pretty cheap because they manufacture it in such bulk. So the reason I bring this up is because this is not necessarily a bad option to take a product that already exists. Sure, it's not custom, but like prove your concept. So if you want to do a collagen capsule or whatever it is, if you can have that product created, maybe it doesn't have the perfect ingredients you want, but you prove it. And then once you have the money and the customer flow and you know the concept's proven, then you can go customize it later, right? And you can just keep it under the same brand. So that's an option. Manufacturing, they got private label options, Canyon Side Labs. Like these are just ones that I found that I have no relation to, just from a quick Google search, okay? So you can build a list of a few, white label manufacturers will reach out. The nice thing is there, it's usually a little cheaper on because they already have the product. So you usually got to order like 1,000 of them or something. So it's really not that bad. The downside is you just don't control the product at all. Then you'll need a good label designer. Okay, you're gonna spend about $1,000 or so to get a really nice label made. Could be a little more, could be a little less, whatever. You'll need to ask the manufacturer for the label size and the bleed lines that they need for the print files, okay? Ask the manufacturer for the supplement facts panel. There's just some information on the process for you. And provide all that info to the designer. They should know what to do with it, and you're good to go. You'll start kicking ideas back and forth with the designer, and hopefully they make you something sick. Okay, now here's a little bit of info before I show you how to do this for 10 grand or less. Building a kick-ass label, okay? I usually make a very detailed brief for our label designers, okay? I actually outline, like, hey, I'll center it on a Google Doc, like, hey, I want this. I'll show you exactly what I do here. I'll be like, okay, so we want to have the logo up top here in the middle, and then I want it to be, collagen capsule is the name, and then it's gonna have, I'm gonna put the little 2 lines, like, let's say health, hair, whatever the benefits are, joint. Like I'm gonna put a couple things there, but we're gonna make that a little smaller. Like I'll give them a rough outline. And then what I like to do is I like to give them all the information on it. And then I really like to give them a couple of screenshots from other labels that I like or links to other listings because that gives them a visual. I try to give them some color, some font ideas. Make sure your legal disclaimers are correct on the bottle. That's fairly easy. And then a barcode if you plan on doing Amazon. This is very easy. I'll just give you this. This is who I use for a lot of stuff. Barcode Mania. There's plenty of different options to buy barcodes. So that's pretty easy. The label part is fun. Now, here's how to launch for $10,000. And the reason I use this number, because this is what I did. Now, there might be additional costs in your business if you want to run a lot of Facebook ads to start or whatever. I started my brand, the personal one that I just showed you, my own results. I own 100% of that company. I started that. And we did it organically. We started it very slow. So I wasn't spending money on ads. We're making TikToks, okay? And that's a little slower, but you don't have the cost, right? So MOQ, minimum order quantity, is the biggest part of this with cost. Absolutely. When you're custom making a product, by and large, your biggest cost is always inventory, okay? But the less capital that you put in, the less risk you have. Would you agree with that statement, right? Which is why I kind of like the idea, I haven't done it, but people have, of doing the white label or private label just to prove the concept and kind of get it going, and then you're comfortable spending the money. I like a lower MOQ because it allows me to do this, okay? Most manufacturers just won't do it. Just so you know, lots of manufacturers do partial pays. Not all manufacturers, but a lot of them will do half up front and then half once the order is completed. So if it's gonna take them a month to be able to make it and have it ready to ship out so that you can eventually start selling, usually they'll do half and then half before they ship it out. So that at least gives you a little bit of time. And then with the right relationships, eventually, you can usually get that extended out, okay? This is commonly referred to in the industry as like a net 30, a net 45, a net 60. Like retail accounts usually have a net 90. That is basically where they're fronting you the money for a set period of time. And you can build this relationship. Now, it takes a lot of time. This is actually very common to do, but it takes a lot of time to build a relationship where you're selling, you're regularly buying product, they know that they're gonna be paid for it. No manufacturer in the world, by the way, don't ask, you're just gonna piss them off, would ever do this, ever, if you have not been ordering for them for a long time and proven that you pay on time and like you have a relationship, right? That's what people miss. People are always like, oh, I'm gonna negotiate on the price up front. You never negotiate on the price, really. It's just, you're just gonna piss them off and they're doing a small MOQ anyways. You certainly don't ask for a net anything, okay? But I just want to put that out there. That really helps with cash later on, okay? The same label process applies when you're building your own custom thing as what I just walked you through. And if you don't know, I help people build brands, specifically US manufactured supplement brands. They're able to tap into the relationship that I have with my manufacturer. I don't own the manufacturing, I've just known them for a long, long time. We do the product research for people, we do all the formulation, they don't have to pay for that. They use our US manufacturing connection, which is 3 times faster to make their order. So they're not waiting 4 months for the products to be made, it's more like a month. Better pricing, always. They get to use my designer, branding, logo, the label, all of it, with all the legal disclaimers, everything already on there for them. Then in-house fulfillment. This is big. Most manufacturers, they'll freight it to wherever you want to fulfill it from. Well, the manufacturer I work with, they actually fulfill everything right there, which first of all is a cheaper cost per unit that they're sending out, but we also don't have to freight it anywhere, which can take time. Products, especially supplements, could get ruined during transit. Let's say you're selling a gummy and it's in the middle of summer. You're sending it from West Coast to East Coast. Could be a problem, right? Different things like that. And then from there, once the product's ready to sell, we work with them for 3 months, which is kind of our typical coaching structure. And then if it doesn't work, I'll buy every unit of unsold inventory back from you and just sell it myself. Okay, this is a guarantee that we have, which is really cool, but we work with a couple people. If you have $25,000 in liquid capital, then this is an option. It's not for everybody, but building a brand should be your goal, okay? And this is a really big piece of how I've shifted my career, is you should be wanting to do something that's longer term, okay? And then subscriptions is just the cherry on top, but you don't want to drop ship forever, okay? I'd be a lot further along if I built a brand from day one. And I'll give you a quick bonus before we wrap up. I want to talk about this. You have 2 different funding options for businesses, pre-rev and post-rev. So basically before you've made any freaking money and after. This is very difficult, okay? Because it's high risk. You haven't done anything yet, especially if you have no track record. If I wanted to go raise money for a new brand I'm building, I could put money together pretty easily. Why? Because I've done it. I have a track record of doing that and I have the skills. I'm not just trying, right? I would be doing it. Now it's very difficult to do this, which means you're going to give up a lot of cost in the form of equity, okay? So the best way to do this really is get a partner, bring in somebody who has money, who you're gonna run the business together in some way. That's usually what people do. Hey, we'll be 50-50 partners. I don't really recommend 50-50 because the relationship is usually not 50-50. Try to give up 25, 30%, 40%, but somebody's gonna want a lot of potential equity because the future upside is not guaranteed, right? So they're fully at risk with their money. It's very sketchy. Now, post-rev, you have a lot of options, okay? I'll walk you through this. The easiest one that people should be using is Shopify Capital. Shopify's been growing their lending partner side of things. They're basically first position. They take it out of your revenue that's collected on your store, and they offer custom deals. As you start making more revenue, they'll offer you more and more money. And the terms actually aren't horrible. Amazon has a little bit of funding options. It's definitely not as good. TikTok Shop has a prepay advance on your money that's being held for I think 0.5%, it's ridiculous. So really cool. And then you have LOCs, lines of credit. This, you usually need 2 years in business, difficult. And then you have private money, okay? Private money, which if someone sees you're on a tear, like I actually, in this business I just showed you, I don't think I'd even be able to get a line of credit. The business has been operating for a year, literally a year. We opened the LLC less than a year ago, okay? And so yeah, it's on a tear, but I don't think a bank would give me a line of credit unless you have a crazy pre-existing relationship with them. Now I could get private money for it though, but at the same time, Shopify Capital is offering me $320,000. So if I need capital, there's options that are easier, right? Where I'm not giving up any equity, which private money probably would want. Line of credit's just interest. So a couple things just to consider there, all right? Anyways, I'll update you once this brand hits $1 million per month, which shouldn't be long. That's been kind of a goal we're pushing for. There's just been some hiccups along the way because there always is, but we're on an absolute tear. Resources are down below if you need help. Again, if you have $25,000 in liquid capital and you want to build a US-based manufacturing brand that is going to sell, has subscriptions, is worth something, and have us help you, and there's kind of that guarantee there where if it's not selling and working, I'll just buy it all back from you. Check out the video down below on how I built this brand to $435,000 a month in 1 year. That'll give you some more information. There'll be a form you can fill out, and then you can book a call to chat with us, and we'll walk you through that. But other than that, there's some other resources down below. We've got a school group, coaching group, and I'll try to put some other resource links you might need for different platforms. Hope this video helped and gave you some insight. Definitely would have helped me out a lot if I had access to this when I was starting. So hope you enjoy. Have a great day.